All right. My 3 wishes would be world peace, intergalactic space travel, and then I would like renewable clean energy for the world.
So nothing for yourself.
Intergalactic space travels for me.
We're designing our new tattoos. We're gonna get them on our necks and collarbones. What's the sound that it makes?
Back on PTO. Don't go back to work until Saturday. Not a long trip, but gonna go see my brother, Nate, up in Washington tomorrow. Gonna take a little detour. Bad news is I'm gonna start this out with a cracked windshield.
There it is. There's the impact part. And I think it's getting bigger already.
Okay, off to my road trip. I'm about an hour and a half late to my 5-hour drive, just like normal. So I've been in management now for a very long time. Not just with T-Mobile or cell phone industries. I've done management elsewhere as well. And without fail, it seems like every time I end up taking PTO, paid time off, someone calls out. They call out. And right now, I have someone calling out today and leaving my manager, my assistant, having to work by herself today. And the way I look at it, because it happens all the time, it makes me feel like, and I'm sure they don't mean it to come across this way, but this is how I take it, and this is how I feel. Like, every time I take my PTO, I feel like my employees feel like, oh, JT shouldn't have any time off. Let's try to figure out a way to make sure that he doesn't. Let's try to figure out a way to make him come in, because if he's not working, why should I? And I'm sure that's not how it goes. I'm sure it's just some sort of weird coincidence. Whenever I take PTO, that's almost guaranteed people are going to start calling out for that week. Unfortunately, I'm not coming in to save them this time. I have done that too many times, and my cares for that has kind of fallen through the wayside. So, a cool thing about this song, this is Hologram by Felt. This is Felt's 4th album. This one came out last year, I think, 2022? Well, so 2 years ago now. The cool thing about this is their 4th album. The first album, the producer was Grouch. The second album, the producer was Ant, who is the producer for Slug, for Atmosphere. And then the third producer was Aesop Rock. The 4th producer is back to Ant. But the cool thing about this song, the featured MCs are Grouch and Aesop Rock. So it's a full, like, back to form kind of thing, like bringing back the entire unit to kind of celebrate over 20 years of Felt. So, kind of cool. Well, I am about an hour early, so I'm gonna get a tattoo. So, this is a room I'm staying in, and it's kind of a cool room for me to stay in. Right here is my dad's Tonka truck collection. They're all old and vintage. I don't know if they're worth anything. Picture of my mom and dad here. My mom's old glove and a pirate ship. I don't know what those planes look like to do. It's those things with those Funkos. That's my dad's flag from that they gave him after he died because he was in the service. Yeah, my siblings are at work right now, or well, school. They work as paraeducators. This one right here, this is probably my favorite. I remember it from when I was a kid. It probably was my dad's, but like we weren't allowed to play with them as kids, but we wanted to. And they're metal, they're heavy duty, they're cool. Yeah. Here's the shrine to my dad. Here is my dad. This is his shrine. This is a card of Tiki Barber. So I'm not the only person who likes nicknames in my family. My entire family likes nicknames. My dad's nickname to his grandkids, or his grandkids called him Tiki. Instead of Grandpa, they called him Tiki. Dude, I am straight struggling right now. I just scared some old dude that was sitting in his car at this beach, or this park. I'm trying to ask him like, hey, excuse me, and he starts driving away, and I wave at him, and it's like, hey, rolls down his window cracks, and was like, hey, excuse me, I'm just trying to pay. Do you know where I would go to pay? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And then he tells me some stuff, and he's like, yada yada yada. He recommends me going to another place where he knows that there's someone there that I could pay from them. He pulls away, and finds the place literally right next to where I'm parked for me to pay. So that was very kind of him and kind of a funny situation. And now I am here. Me and Mur are gonna go exploring. It's a pretty spot. Not much here though, which is fun. It's gorgeous. I wish I could be down to the water because dang. Oh shit, there's a hill right there. So I may or may not have been on top of that hill recording and wanted to show the fence and walked backwards and then fell because I forgot it was on a hill. I've always been a fan of like broken limbs and trees. I don't know, I get it from my mother. But it's cool how like all this like forms, you know, like it's a tangled web. It's cool. No, there's definitely a fucking way to get out there. There's a sign there. It's pretty cool. This is the little workings of this place. It says, by the late 1940s, there was no public access to the waterfront because all of Camino shorelines was owned by individual resorts or businesses. As a result, area residents strongly supported a grassroots movement for a public park. In efforts led by the South Camino Grange, the Parkland Commission purchased 93 acres of land with the waterfront on the condition that the area residents would help construct the park. People responded eagerly. In a massive turnout on July 27, 1949, almost 900 men, women, and children volunteered to help. In just one day, they cleared land, built a road, dug a well, creating the only public park in the island east of the Deception Pass. Charlotte was a homeless street kitty. They had a different cat. I forget the name. I always call him Charlie, but that's always wrong. But anyways, that cat passed, and then after some time, Charlotte, this homeless little street kitty, comes up to my brother, and my brother's like, well, it's starving, so he puts food out to it. And before they know it, they just let the cat inside, and now it's their cat. And then they're like, well, the cat's gonna go indoor and outdoor, but so she needs to be fixed. So then they spayed her, and she's a lover. And I was just like, man, how could this cat ever be a homeless kitty? Did someone abandon her? Was she just born outside? She's a lover. Well, I'm on my way back home. I had a really good time. Yesterday we went to Cameron's basketball practice. That was fun. And then I made them all tacos for dinner. We also had peach cobbler. Sat around, talked for a little bit, went to bed. Saw them in the morning and said goodbye. On my way home. Good time.
baby. For my health. Why would I buy sex when it's selling stuff? Like, why would I buy ice when I know it melts over hot coals? See for yourself. It's me. I kill 'em.
Even close. It's like 70% Peter Parker, 30% bullshit everyone else.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of assuming, you know, if you were to talk to some 90-year-old man, what's more likely, that they're going to know Superman or Spider-Man?
I mean, Spider-Man is like 80 years old now.
Yes, it started in the 50s.
But Superman is like
Started in the 30s.
the most generic. Like,
Kal-El.
No, no one is Kal-El. It's either fucking Bruce Wayne or Peter Parker. Joker is more of a last name than Kal-El.
Joker is one name.
I would be
Yeah,
surprised.
so it's
if
personality.
you have, I would be surprised if like more than 70% of people who know Superman know his real name is Kal-El.
I don't know.
Oh, 6? Jesus.